Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. In an interview with an Argentine news outlet, the Holy Father Pope Francis has confirmed that he will visit Greece and Cyprus in December. Speaking to Vatican correspondent Hernan Reyes Alcaide of Argentine news site Telam, the pontiff said he will be undertaking the Apostolic Visits in the first week of the month. The Holy Father also said that the Vatican is working on a final itinerary that includes a stop on the Greek island of Lesbos. This would be his second visit to the island after a one-day trip in 2016, during which he visited a refugee camp and brought 12 refugees, including 3 Syrian families, with him on his flight back. His Holiness also revealed his wish to visit Papua New Guinea and East Timor next year. Separately, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to meet the Supreme Pontiff at the Vatican during his Rome stopover for the 2-day G20 conference. As Oklahoma City in the United States prepares to resume executions, Archbishop Paul Coakley of Oklahoma City has called for prayer, seeking an end to capital punishment and abortion. In a statement dated October the 20th, the Archbishop called for prayer to protect the precious gift of life from conception until natural death. The state will execute 7 convicts between October the 28th and March the 10th of next year. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops is observing October as Respect Life Month and the Month of the Rosary. The Archbishop has appealed to Catholics to pray for their leaders so that they have wisdom and courage to create laws and policies that respect the dignity of human life. The prelate also encouraged everyone to pray the Rosary and spend time in adoration. After the botched execution of Clayton Lockett in 2015, the state had put on hold executions. In the latest round of attacks by Islamist militants in the Democratic Republic of Congo, 11 people were killed on Friday and Saturday. According to reports, the Allied Democratic Forces, or ADF, who are linked to the Islamic State, carried out the attacks in the Gala district. Decrying the latest massacre, Louis Thembo, president of the local civil service organisation in Bulongo, said 7 people, including a woman, were killed in the district. In an earlier attack near Bulongo, 4 others were butchered by members of the ADF. This round of attacks comes days after militants slaughtered 16 civilians in 3 communities overnight. Although Christians are a majority in the country, violence fueled by the ADF has been continuing since 2014. In a list of nations where Christians are persecuted, the non-profit organisation Open Doors ranks the country in 40th position in the world. The government of Singapore has announced that a cluster of historic Catholic buildings in the city-state will be conserved and revamped due to their architectural and social significance. The entrance archway of St. Teresa's home and 6 adjoining buildings built in the 1930s will be conserved by the Urban Redevelopment Authority. The home was built by the Little Sisters of the Poor, a French congregation dedicated to taking care of the elderly and the destitute. Among the historic buildings are a chapel, dormitory blocks and administration building. The Catholic Welfare Services, which now run St. Teresa's home, will move to another site in order to have more facilities and beds by 2026. The proposal to preserve and restore the buildings is supported by the Archdiocese of Singapore. Restoration work is expected to be completed by 2025, after which the buildings will house a heritage centre, church archives and a retirement home for priests. The coronavirus pandemic has caused many Australians to seek refuge in spirituality. That is according to a survey conducted by McCrindle Research. It concludes that 1/3 of residents thought of God during the lockdown, while 3 in 10 Australians prayed more as the pandemic spread. The survey also revealed that half of Australians contemplated the meaning of life and of their own mortality. Apart from thoughts on spirituality, the online poll also revealed how a vast majority of Australians support public displays of Christianity. When asked whether people should be prevented from displaying or sharing their religious views in public places, 33% of respondents approved, while 67% disagreed. About 67% of people said that Australia would not be better off without Christianity. The chairs of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops' Pro-Life and Religious Freedom Committees have appealed to senators to include the Hyde and Weldon amendments and other long-standing bipartisan pro-life provisions in appropriations bills that are being advanced in the chamber. In a joint statement, Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York, who heads the Religious Liberty Committee, and Archbishop Joseph Naumann of Kansas City, who takes care of pro-life affairs, said that the Senate is taking an extreme position of forcing taxpayers to pay for abortions. They also blamed senators for coercing healthcare providers to take part in an injustice against deeply held beliefs. The Senate Committee on Appropriations had released the text of several bills on October the 19th, and they do not have pro-life provisions such as the Hyde Amendment, which prevents taxpayer funding for abortions. After 10 days in captivity, a Catholic priest in Nigeria has been released. In a statement released on Sunday, October the 24th by Bishop Lucius Ugorji of the Diocese of Umuahia in Abia State, the prelate confirmed that Father Mark Kimezi Godfrey, who was abducted, has been released. Father Mark, a native of Enugu State, was ordained a priest early this year and was serving at St. Teresa's parish. On October the 13th, he was kidnapped by unarmed men along a road. As per local news reporters, armed men waylaid the priest's car as he was on his way home after celebrating morning mass at St. Gabriel's Church in Okpururi, Afarauku. It is not known if a ransom was paid to secure his release. The coronavirus pandemic has claimed the lives of 4 Spanish Jesuit religious in the Basque country of Spain. Last week, 2 elderly priests and 2 brothers in the Sanctuary of Loyola, dedicated to St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Society of Jesus, passed away. They died due to complications related to COVID-19. There was an outbreak of the pandemic in the sanctuary on September the 28th, forcing authorities to close the sanctuary and shrine and suspend all religious services. According to Rector Father Ignacio Echarte, 2 of the deceased religious were 93 years old, while the other 2 were 91 and 75 years old. May they rest in peace. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.